Welcome to my latest case.
Nancy Drew, I presume. I'm Joanna Riggs. Welcome to Beach Hill. I was just checking the lock on this display case. This is one of the museum's most treasured pieces, a carving of King Pakal.
Who is King Pakal?
Pakal assumed the throne at age 12. Can you imagine? That was 615 A.D. He ruled for 68 years at the height of the Maya civilization.
Is that jade?
Yes, the Maya loved jade and used it for many of their carvings. There isn't another piece like this in the world, and it's priceless, which means I practically had to sell my own grandmother to get it.
How did the museum acquire it?
Leave it to Taylor Sinclair. He's a wizard when it comes to these deals. You'll meet him later. Now then, Nancy, you're coming on board at a critical time for Beach Hill. An exhibit of this caliber is not kid stuff. Franklin Rose assures me you're a real trooper, and I hope he's right because I'm not here to babysit. I don't care who your father is.
If there's one thing I've learned from my father, it's the value of hard work. Just tell me where to start.
There's a list of tasks for you in the lab. Once you've knocked those off, we'll regroup.
Where's the rest of the staff around here?
We've had to make some, budget cutbacks, so we'll be relying heavily on our volunteer staff. Namely, you. Besides Henrik and me, the only people who will be around to pester you are Taylor Sinclair, my ace art dealer, and Alejandro Del Rio, attaché to the Mexican consulate and executive thorn in my side.
Tell me more about Alejandro Del Rio.
Ugh, wouldn't you rather hear about the monolith? It's a massive pillar of stone, nearly 1,500 years old with Maya glyphs carved into it. We've installed it in the garden. Wait until you see it.
What purpose did the monolith serve?
According to Henrik, the monolith was made at the special request of King Pakal himself, but we don't know what its purpose was.
Who's Henrik?
Henrik Vanderheun, world-renowned expert in Maya hieroglyphics. He's the latest addition to the Beach Hill Brain Trust. I told him I don't even want to see his pointy Vander head till he's got a translation on that monolith.
Thanks for the orientation, Joanna. I'll talk to you later.
Bye!
Topeka Commission for the Arts. How cultured. Welcome to...
Nancy Drew, I presume. I'm Joanna Riggs. Welcome to Beach Hill. I was just checking the lock on this display case. This is one of the museum's most treasured pieces, a carving of King Pakal.
Who is King Pakal?
Pakal assumed the throne at age 12. Can you imagine? That was 615 A.D. He ruled for 68 years at the height of the Maya civilization.
Is that jade?
Yes, the Maya loved jade and used it for many of their carvings. There isn't another piece like this in the world, and it's priceless, which means I practically had to sell my own grandmother to get it.
How did the museum acquire it?
Leave it to Taylor Sinclair. He's a wizard when it comes to these deals. You'll meet him later. Now then, Nancy, you're coming on board at a critical time for Beach Hill. An exhibit of this caliber is not kid stuff. Franklin Rose assures me you're a real trooper, and I hope he's right because I'm not here to babysit. I don't care who your father is.
If there's one thing I've learned from my father, it's the value of hard work. Just tell me where to start.
There's a list of tasks for you in the lab. Once you've knocked those off, we'll regroup.
Where's the rest of the staff around here?
We've had to make some, budget cutbacks, so we'll be relying heavily on our volunteer staff. Namely, you. Besides Henrik and me, the only people who will be around to pester you are Taylor Sinclair, my ace art dealer, and Alejandro Del Rio, attaché to the Mexican consulate and executive thorn in my side.
Tell me more about Alejandro Del Rio.
Ugh, wouldn't you rather hear about the monolith? It's a massive pillar of stone, nearly 1,500 years old with Maya glyphs carved into it. We've installed it in the garden. Wait until you see it.
What purpose did the monolith serve?
According to Henrik, The monolith was made at the special request of King Pakal himself, but we don't know what its purpose was.
Who's Henrik?
Henrik Vanderheun, world-renowned expert in Maya hieroglyphics. He's the latest addition to the Beach Hill Brain Trust. I told him I don't even want to see his pointy Vander head till he's got a translation on that monolith.
Thanks for the orientation, Joanna. I'll talk to you later.
Bye!
Topeka Commission for the Arts. How cultured. Looks like this
Nancy
side is
Drew,
missing
or
a
should I
part.
say, Detective Drew. I'm Sinclair.
Who told you I was a detective?
I was at a meeting with the BOD recently, and I caught wind of your appointment and your credentials. Very impressive, if I do say so myself.
Well, I'm not on a case right now, that's for sure. I'm the new deputy curator, remember?
So, how's this for a specimen? Ever seen $1 million worth of rock before?
Do diamonds count?
Ouch. Well, they did say you were sharp. Seriously, though, thank goodness you're here. I'm afraid the museum may be in terrible jeopardy.
What kind of jeopardy?
Joanna told me to butt out, but I'm so fond of Beach Hill, I just hate to see it fall prey to scoundrels.
What scoundrels?
It's a sensitive subject. Meet me in my office later and I'll explain everything then.
Where's your office?
707 Bing Cherry Boulevard. I've got to go. Enjoy your first day at Beach Hill!
There, that looks like it's in order.
You must be Nancy, the new deputy curator. I'm Henrik Vanderheun.
Pleased to meet you. What are you working on?
Just some light housekeeping.
Huh? Housekeeping?
Keeping artifacts clean is an important aspect of preserving them. Anyway, what can I do for you?
See you around, Henrik.
That will be fine.
There, now I can start putting this together. That's done. That looks right.
How may I help you?
Hi, I'm Nancy Drew, the new deputy curator over at Beach Hill.
So, you're Joanna Riggs' newest pirate in training. How does it feel to join the ranks with the modern-day conquistadors?
Conquistadors?
You had better brush up on your history, young lady. When the Spanish explorers invaded Mexico, they became known as the conquistadors, or conquerors. They robbed the indigenous peoples of their wealth, not just their gold, but their artwork, their sacred objects. Anything they did not steal, they burned to the ground.
Do you blame Joanna and modern-day art collectors for something that happened long before they were born?
There is more. In the 19th century, archaeologists discovered the ruins of ancient civilizations predating even the Aztecs. Many of the dig sites were robbed, and the stolen artifacts were sold off to art museums and collectors around the world. Today, finally, it is illegal among most civilized nations to remove an artifact from its native country. But sadly, There are thousands of precious antiquities with highly questionable provenance floating around the Western world.
I see. Well, I should probably get going. Here are the changes to the loan agreement for the monolith. I just need your signature, please.
Thank you. I have some business with Joanna at the museum later, so I will return the contract to her then, after I have looked it over.
Are you sure? I don't mind waiting.
You may consider your mission accomplished.
Well, okay then.
Goodbye.
It's about time! Oh, my fears are like maggots infesting my poor old carcass. Want a cookie? They're from Oaxaca.
No, thank you. You said Beach Hill is in jeopardy. I need to know why.
The art world is being ransacked, Nancy. Prudence Rutherford, a major patron of the arts, had her fire ruby necklace stolen from her villa in Topeka. 2 weeks later, a whole display case full of rare Maya artifacts was heisted from a museum in New Mexico.
What does this have to do with Beach Hill?
I'm just telling you, this community, our friends and colleagues, my people are being systematically trounced by thugs. Who's to say Beach Hill won't be next? You've got to do something.
Does Joanna share your concerns?
I've urged Joanna to approach the board about making some security upgrades, but she just keeps saying that the timing isn't right to ask for money.
I understand your concern, but what can I do to help?
We need your eagle eyes. We need your bat ears. We need you to sniff out the stink of trouble.
I'll do my best, but it sounds like what you really need is a new breed of police dog.
Don't play modest mouse with me.
Okay, no more flattery. Hey, that's an interesting piece, there by your desk. Something tells me it's not a Maya artifact.
How about that rubber shark? The artist's name is Poppy Dada. She's a teenager in South Dakota. The art world is going bananas over her stuff. I'll unload that one for some serious dinero.
I'd better get going.
See you around.
Good thing Franklin gave me the museum key.
Beach Hill's been hit. Sit tight, Nancy. The police are on their way.
Topeka Commission for the Arts.
Someone
That's
has
the
cooked up my
organization
worst
Prudence
nightmare and
Rutherford
served it
works
to me
for.
on a plate.
I'd like to have a look at the crime scene myself. Did the police turn up any clues?
The police took some samples for the crime lab, but they couldn't promise any overnight results. So if you want to put your little magnifying glass up to the scene, it's fine with me.
I've got work to do.
Go to it. Need something?
Have you seen Henrik? I found a piece of paper inside the Pakal display case. It had some glyphs on it and a print of a red hand. I'm hoping he can give me a translation.
What am I, fish food? Henrik's not the only one around here who can read a glyph, you know.
Okay, great. Did you happen to see the thief's message?
The police showed me the note. It said, "The magician suffers yellow death," whatever that means. Apparently, the thief just couldn't come up with the glyphs for "the curator suffers flaming purple disgrace."
I'm curious about the red handprint the thief left. Does it have any significance in Maya culture?
Afraid I can't help you there. What I want to know is what the hand was printed with. It's obviously not finger paint. Why don't you do a little analysis on it in the lab?
I've got work to do.
Bye!
Okay, I've got a graph of the chemical used for that. That's it! According to Ed, so the handprint was made from mercury and sulfur.
Need something?
I did the chemical analysis you suggested. That red hand was printed with a compound containing mercury and sulfur. Does that mean anything to you?
Sure, cinnabar. The Maya would rub it into their most important carvings to add definition to the artist's lines.
Does the museum keep cinnabar around?
We use cinnabar here at the museum the same way the Maya did, to keep things as authentic as possible. Henrik orders those kinds of supplies, but we've been out of stock for quite a while. The last I heard, there was some kind of holdup with the distributor.
I've got work to do.
Bye!
Henrik!
Amnesia? Wow. Henrik must have taken a real nosedive off that pyramid.
Do you think he just fell, Nancy? Or was he pushed? Sounds like you need to find out about hospital visiting hours.
Yeah, but you'd better get the lowdown from Joanna first.
George is right. She is your supervisor, after all.
Nancy, hi. It's Franklin Rose. I'm calling because it's just... This theft is very bad news for the museum. You can't imagine the limb we went out on to acquire that Pakal carving. It's been one of the museum's main attractions. I don't want to take you away from your internship, but if you can do a little investigating, well, I think I speak for the whole board when I say we'd be very grateful. Give me a call when you have a chance. And Nancy, thanks.
This message is for Nancy Drew. Hi, Nancy. This is Nurse Bluefoot calling from Eleanor Roosevelt Memorial Hospital in regards to Henrik Vanderheun. I believe you're a colleague of his? Since Mr. Vanderheun was admitted, he has repeated your name several times in states of semi-consciousness. As we've been unable to contact any of his family members, we're hoping you might be willing to act as Henrik's support person as he begins the difficult process of restoring his memory. Please call me as soon as possible to discuss this. My direct line is 202-555-4000. Thank you.
To rape...
This is Nurse Bluefoot.
Nurse Bluefoot, this is Nancy Drew. You left me a message regarding Henrik Vanderheun. How is he?
Nancy Drew? Oh, thank goodness. Oh, I'm so relieved. We've been unable to locate any family members, and we do like amnesia patients to have at least one personal support person when they begin reality orientation.
What's reality orientation?
Well, reality orientation is a kind of treatment that helps a patient get reacquainted with the facts and circumstances of his or her life. Henrik has not actually lost his memory. It's just that his brain is injured in such a way that he can't access the place where the memories are stored.
So, how does he regain access to the storage place?
First, we do repetitive memory exercises to help Henrik relearn the basic facts like his name and address, the name of his parakeet, if he has one, the date, and so on. Second, we try to stimulate Henrik's sensory memories in order to help trigger or find the way back to his cognitive memories.
Where do I come in?
You can't help Henrik remember his childhood, but you can probably help him remember his work, and who knows where that will take him. All roads lead to Rome, as they say. One great tool is the Reality Orientation Board. This is a place to post information and pictures for the patient to look at over a period of time. You may want to bring in images or photos to place on the board. Things from the museum, perhaps.
I see. Well, I'll be happy to help in any way I can. When are visiting hours?
Visiting hours are 10 to 4 every day, if the patient is not engaged in treatment and if he seems stable.
Stable how?
Just remember, Henrik's brain has been knocked around like a peanut in its shell. He may have attention difficulties, headaches, anxiety. Sometimes he may seem giddy, too. we need to keep these conditions in check. Don't push him too hard, or he may have some kind of meltdown.
Thanks for the warning, Nurse Bluefoot.
Be well. Keep it real. Max speaking.
Hi, I'm the new deputy curator over at Beach Hill Museum. I wonder if you could answer a couple of questions for me about our ordering history.
Well, hello there, Beach Hill. Hey, you're not Sunny June. Whatever happened to that guy? I suppose he caught a ride on a flying saucer, huh? What a riot. I'm sorry. Anyway, you don't need to reorder, do you? Unless you ate last week's shipment for breakfast, that is.
You're sure it was last week?
Oh, that's what it says here.
Do you know who placed that order?
The initials on the order are J.R.
Was the package shipped to the museum?
Oh? Oops, I guess we didn't ship it at all. It looks like the package was picked up here at the warehouse.
Can you remember anything about the person who picked up the package?
I sure can't. Guess I must have been at lunch or something.
Well, thanks for your help.
Sure thing. I hope there wasn't any problem with the stuff, was there? We only used the top-grade mercuric sulfide.
Problem? Not that I could hold you responsible for.
Well, you sound a little green in the chemicals department, if you don't mind my saying so. I hope you know that mercuric sulfide is highly toxic. Makes you crazy.
Toxic?
Oh, looks like I've got another call coming in here. You give us a call in about 4 months or so when you start to run out, okie doke? And don't forget to keep it real.
You look familiar. Is it time for my snack?
Hi, Henrik. I'm Nancy. We met at Beach Hill before your head injury.
Beach Hill?
Beach Hill is a museum here in Washington, D.C. Before your accident, you were working there on some important Maya glyph translations. Do you remember anything about that project?
I don't even remember my own birthday. So if you're here to squeeze me for details, you're wasting your time.
Actually, Nurse Bluefoot thinks with regular visits, I may be able to help you get your memory back more quickly.
How, pray tell, do you intend to do that?
I'll visit, we'll talk. Sometimes I'll bring you pictures.
Pictures? Well, isn't this nice?
Come on, Henrik. You'll feel much better once things start coming back to you. I've got a picture with me if you'd like to give it a try.
Fine, I'll do it.
Okay, here we go. These symbols mean the magician suffers yellow death.
Your translator is sloppy. I should know. I am the author of the original work.
You don't agree with the translation?
That first glyph is the fool, not the magician. Furthermore, any decent epigrapher knows those glyphs refer to the infamous plague of oozing hives. A fitting curse for a fool, don't you think? I rather like it.
Henrik, this note was found at a crime scene. Are you telling me you left it there?
I don't remember.
I'm investigating the theft of the Pakal carving. Please, Henrik, try to remember something.
Who in the world is Pakal? Oh, my head. Oh, the pressure. I can't take any more today, Nancy.
Okay, it's time for some memory therapy. Nancy, could you come back tomorrow?
It's a fiasco, just as I feared. Oh, I'm sick about the whole thing.
I see you've spoken with Joanna.
I was in the museum when it happened.
Do you think it's the same person who carried out those other thefts?
That awful red hand was left on Prudence Rutherford's jewelry box in Topeka and on the display case in the museum in New Mexico. What's the chance they're not connected?
Why do you think the thief is leaving this red handprint?
To be a gruesome scoundrel?
I need a photo of the Pakal carving. Do you have one?
Joanna took the official print for her insurance claim, but I have a couple extras. Here you go. Keep up the good work.
Well, look who it is.
Ready to do some memory work, Henrik? I brought you a picture. This will help you to remember.
That face. He's as familiar as my own feet.
Do you know his name?
Pakal! Nancy, this is the stolen carving, isn't it? And I'm the one who took it. I must have. But why? Oh, Pakal! What could I have meant by this?
Think, Henrik. Where's the carving now?
I can't remember.
Easy, Henrik. The answers are in your head. You just need to find them.
It's still in the museum.
Are you sure, Henrik? Did you plan to sell the Pakal on the black market?
To protect him. I had to protect him. Oh, Pakal! Something is going on at that museum, a devious plot. I was the only one who could stand in the way.
What kind of plot?
Forgive me, Nancy, but when I woke up in this hospital bed, I didn't even know my own name. Perhaps the only thing I can offer you is this key. It was found in one of my pockets when I was brought in.
Do you know what lock it belongs to?
I haven't a clue. Take the key now, Nancy. Find out what it opens and return to me, please, with some answers.
You can count on me, Henrik.
In the meantime, I'll sit with my friend Pakal and see if he will tell me anything new. You must keep this to yourself for now. It's your only hope of getting to the bottom of this.
You rest up. I'll be back.
I'll do my best.
Looks like I need to find someone who speaks Nahuatl. It's locked.
Hello, Nancy.
I need to know the Nahuatl word for snake. Can you help me?
What do you need that word for?
I'd rather not say. It's part of my investigation.
Now, if only I could remember the word for snake. I hear you have been a great help to Henrik. I wonder if you can help me improve my memory too.
What are you talking about, Alejandro?
I am almost certain that the provenance documents for the Pakal carving were falsified. I have asked Joanna to see the documents, but she evades me. If you can find that file in her office and bring it to me, I think it might help my memory of Nahuatl a lot.
First you tell me you were unconcerned about the theft of the Pakal carving, and now you have an urgent need to see the provenance documents? Is it just me, or is this a little suspicious?
If I can determine that the provenance documents are a fraud, this will be the first major step toward legal repatriation of the artwork, whenever and wherever it resurfaces.
Okay, Alejandro. I'll see what I can do.
I feel my Nahuatl coming back to me already. Do you know what Sihuapili means? Princess or lady. Now, if only I could remember the word for snake.
Do you know what cinnabar is?
The red powder that the Maya used? Sure, I know it. They use it at Beach Hill too, do they not?
Cinnabar was used to make the red handprint that was left at the scene of the Pakal theft.
What is your point?
I think Joanna may have been less than truthful with me.
Have you called the police?
I don't want to jump to conclusions.
Of course. Sister Joanna couldn't possibly be a thief now, could she?
I should get back to the museum.
Yes, you should. Hello, Nancy. You have a special delivery for me, I hope?
Here's your file, as requested.
Good work, my friend. I suppose you would like something in return?
A deal's a deal.
The Nahuatl word for snake is coatl. C-O-A-T-L.
Muchas gracias. Gotta go.
Adios, Nancy.
The radio tube went out.
Transmítalo ahora. Mensaje encendido. Transmítalo
Boswell, Jackson, and Rose, how may I direct your call? This is Nancy Drew, calling for Franklin Rose, please. Just a minute, please.
Nancy, hello. Do you have any news?
I need to contact a woman named Prudence Rutherford. I noticed she's on the board of the Topeka Commission for the Arts, and that they've donated money to Beach Hill. Any idea how I might track her down?
Well, you're in luck. It so happens that Prudence and I sat on the panel of judges for the Kansas Speak No Evil Mime competition for 3 years in a row, back when I lived in Wichita. How's that for a small world?
You judged a mime competition?
Indeed I did. I haven't talked to Prudence in about 10 years. But let's see if I still have her in this old dinosaur of a Rolodex. Ah, yes, here we go. Got a pen? It's area code 785-555-7279. What's this all about?
I think Ms. Rutherford had a run-in with a red-handed thief, much like the one who took the Pakal carving.
Ha! You're a real pro, Nancy. Say, why don't I call ahead and let Prudence know what's going on? That way I can say hello, and she'll be expecting you.
That would be great, Mr. Rose.
Not a problem, dear.
Nancy, you have brought me back to my work.
What have you remembered?
I've been working like a fiend. Look at the board. This has something to do with the plot at the museum, Nancy. I'm sure of it.
Who is this whisperer of silent secrets?
The whisperer came from a distinguished line of royal scribes. I can't seem to remember her name, but I do recall that she wrote an account of Maya history that greatly angered Pakal because of the way it depicted his ascent to the throne.
How did Pakal wish to be depicted?
From the age of 12, when he came to the throne, Pakal claimed to be divinely appointed the first true authentic king of the Maya. Then the whisperer came along and wrote that Pakal was only king because his mother pulled some strings. It was quite a blow to Pakal's image.
What happened to the scribe's writings?
Pakal swore that the whisperer's words would never see the light of day. He put her body, her soul, and her writings all in a tomb and locked it up tight.
Does this mean that the monolith is hollow inside and full of bones?
That's the idea.
Does anyone else know about this?
Good question. I'm certain that there's a dirty rat trying to get into that tomb. This is where my memory fizzles out. If I could only figure out why I took the Pakal.
Do you think there is anyone I can trust?
Please don't breathe a word of this. There's too much at stake.
Henrik, I received a note from your friends in Copan. I've got the Copan Fool Key. I still need the Pakal, though. How's your memory?
The tomb. Nancy, I hid the Pakal carving in the replica of the Pakal tomb at the bottom of the temple exhibit. Huh. Now, how did I think of that? And another thing. You'll need to get past that computer quiz. Sonny set it up with an impossible question. No one knows what Pakal was afraid of, but Sonny was petrified of the Coatamundi. It's an ornery bandit with a narrow snout and a long ringed tail, much like a raccoon or a polecat.
You rest up. I'll be back.
Be careful.
Chaco Canyon Cultural Center.
Hi, I'm hoping to speak to someone about the theft that happened there recently.
Are you the press?
No, I'm a detective investigating a similar crime in Washington, D.C.
This is Sheila Schultz, the director. What would you like to know?
My name is Nancy Drew. I'm calling from the Beach Hill Museum in Washington, D.C. I understand you had some rare Maya artifacts stolen recently.
That's right. It's a terrible loss, and the police here have no leads.
Beach Hill was robbed too. We lost one of our prized jade carvings.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
I'm wondering if the robberies are connected. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about the incident at Chaco Canyon?
Fire away.
What types of artifacts did the thief get away with?
Only the center's most prized pieces. The case contained 5 pre-Columbian artifacts that were excavated right from this area.
Which piece would you say is the greatest loss for the center?
Definitely the jade carving. It was highly unusual. There was a glyph on it that no one could translate. Until we hired Henrik Vanderheun, that is. His opinion was that it's Mayan in origin, and that it may have been a place name glyph for this area. As you can imagine, we regarded it as something of a regional treasure.
Could you send me a photo of that jade carving so I can take a look at the glyph?
I'm afraid I sent our only print off to the insurance company. They said they'd return it, but who knows when our claim will be processed. I'm sorry.
I've just got to get my hands on a replica of that jade carving you lost. Do you have any ideas?
Not off the top of my head, but maybe one of my staff will have a bright idea. I need some time to ask around. Can you call back later?
Sure thing.
Feel free to call if you have any more questions. Chaco Canyon Cultural Center.
Hi, this is Nancy Drew calling.
Hi, Nancy. It's Sheila. Well, we racked our brains. Finally, one of my staff came up with the original box that the carving was packed in. The piece was encased in a tight foam cast to prevent damage during shipping. I'm not sure how much good it'll do you, but I can send it to you if you like.
That just might work.
Henrik left Beach Hill as his forwarding address, so I know what to do. I'll send it express.
Thanks a million, Sheila.
Good luck with your investigation.
Daddle residence.
Hi, may I speak to Henry Daddle, please?
Speaking.
Mr. Daddle, my name is Nancy Drew. This is a long shot, but I'm calling regarding a Maya artifact that was bought at auction in 1898 by one Henry Albert Daddle. Does that ring any bells?
Sure. Henry Albert Daddle Sr. was my great-grandfather. You're talking about the jade carving, right?
Yes, exactly. Wow, I can't believe my luck.
Well, it's a lucky life if you ask me. So what can I do for you?
I'm investigating a recent rash of thefts around the country involving similar Maya artifacts. Any information you could give me about the one your great-grandfather bought would be very helpful.
I see. Well, I was the last to inherit the carving, but my daughter Penelope was so intrigued with it that I gave it to her. I'm sure she'd be happy to talk to you about it. Why don't you give her a call on her line? It's 555-3197.
Will do. Thanks, Mr. Daddle.
My pleasure.
Hello?
Hi, is this Penelope?
Not even.
Oh, is this 605-555-3197?
Yeah, but no one calls me Penelope anymore. Except my parents, that is. To my friends, the art world, and anyone else who made it out of the 20th century, I'm Poppy.
The art world? Wait, you're not Poppy Dada, are you?
Ta-da! Ping ping! You win! Who's this?
My name's Nancy Drew. I'm a detective.
A detective? No way! So do you get to wear a sassy tweed hat and pick hairs off dead bodies and gross, creepy stuff like that?
I don't run into too many dead bodies, luckily. But there's plenty of other creepy stuff.
So, where'd you get my name? Don't tell me I'm like wanted by the FBI or something. That would be too scandalous.
No. You see, it's all a big coincidence. Your dad's name came up in connection with a case I'm working on.
Go Dad. Don't tell me he's wanted by the FBI. I'll be so jealous.
Sorry, Poppy. There's no FBI in on this case, and your dad's not wanted.
Okay, what then?
Someone is stealing Maya antiquities, jade carvings to be exact, and leaving this scary red handprint at the scene of every crime.
Ghastly. So, what's with the red hand?
It seems like some kind of threat, but to whom? And what is this thief really after? It's more than money, I'm sure of it.
Drama. So, where do the daddles come in?
I got a tip that your great-great-grandfather bought a jade carving much like the ones that are being stolen. I'm hoping to take a look at it.
You mean that ancient green rock with the weird symbol on it? I slapped some shoe polish on it and stuck it in one of my paintings.
Poppy, what were you thinking? You'll never get it back.
That's the whole point. Have you heard the saying that a work of art is never finished, just abandoned? Well, I'm taking that idea to the limit by making art that will keep changing as different people encounter, perceive, and interact with it. I'm tired of artwork that says, "Don't touch." I'm all about letting go, about sending my work into the world and seeing how it continues to become. Don't you see? It's an organic process. I mean, how can people really relate to art if it doesn't come to life and grow and die just like they do? That carving is part of something bigger now.
I can't imagine your dad would be very pleased about this. Does he know?
Oh, Nancy, don't be such a prude. Taylor's probably still got that artwork. At least, I don't think he sold it yet. Why don't you ask him? Tell him you want to see the piece called Deadly Midnight Snack. It's the one with the rubber shark.
The one with the rubber shark. Yes, I've seen it, but I didn't notice any jade carving.
Well, take a closer look there, sweets. It's in there. If you really need the carving to crack this case, why don't you just go ahead and take it?
What? Poppy, you can't be serious.
Sure, why not? After all, this is a chance to enact exactly what I've been talking about, the organic process, inviting my viewers to interact with my work. The deal is, you can take the carving, but you have to put something in its place.
I can choose anything? A light bulb? A magnifying glass? A pair of headphones?
No, it should be something more organic. Stay with the title, Deadly Midnight Snack. And don't be afraid to go way out. As an artist, I can tell you that inspiration bites in the most mysterious ways.
I'll do my best.
Right on. But let's keep Taylor out of this. He'd probably blow a gasket if he saw you tampering with the merchandise. That's all art is to him, you know. Merchandise.
It's a deal.
Good luck, Nancy.
Thanks, Poppy. Bye.
Yes, hello?
Hi, this is Nancy Drew, calling from Washington, D.C. I'm trying to reach Prudence Rutherford, please.
Oh, yes, Franklin told me you'd be calling. Such dreadful news about Beach Hill. I will do everything in my power to help you catch those rapscallions. To think how they violated the sanctity of my domicile. Good heavens!
I'm sorry to hear about your loss. What can you tell me about the necklace?
I can't even think about it. Oh, just the very thought of my precious necklace gone, stranded, orphaned, and in the hands of some dirty stranger makes my blood boil.
Was the necklace a gift?
I inherited it from my mother-in-law. But you see, the necklace means much more to me than just a handful of priceless rubies.
More? In what way?
I had the necklace restrung to include an exquisite jade carving as the centerpiece, a genuine artifact of the ancient Maya. The carving is not only one of a kind, but a Rutherford family heirloom given to me by my great-grandfather when I was just a little girl.
What does the jade piece look like?
It features a rare glyph. No one's been able to give me a precise translation, but most epigraphers have agreed that it has something to do with a snake, the color green, and the direction south. It's terribly fascinating.
Do you think the thief or thieves had any idea of what they were stealing?
Oh, they must have known. The rest of my valuables were left untouched. Frankly, I don't know whether to be grateful or insulted.
What about evidence?
The first thing I saw when I opened my eyes was this positively ghoulish red handprint on the wall. I nearly jumped out of my skin.
A red handprint was left at the scene of the crime at Beach Hill, too. Ms. Rutherford, I'm almost certain that these robberies were committed by the same person.
But why? What is so special about these carvings?
Miss Rutherford, it would be so helpful if I knew exactly what your carving looked like. Could you send me a picture that shows it in detail?
I can do better than a photo. The insurance company made this dreadful replica of the necklace with the idea that I would wear such a thing to public functions. Please, but I could send that to you if you'd like.
Perfect. Let me give you the address.
My secretary will have the address of the museum. Now, if that is all you would require, young lady, I will need to attend to other pressing matters.
Thanks a million, Miss Rutherford. I won't let you down.
Call me Prudence. Oh, and Nancy, when you find the villains who did this to me, do me a favor and give them a sound thrashing.
I sure will. Goodbye. May I take a closer look at that wacky Dada painting?
Be my guest. I just had a call from Poppy this morning. She says she's in a really creative period right now. I said, please, sweetie, if you get any more creative, they're going to lock you up.
Pardon me a moment, Nancy. I'll be right back. I hope.
I should put in my temple key card. I wonder if Henrik would remember the answer. It's locked.
Nancy, it's Joanna. The police are done giving me the 3rd degree, but now the board has suspended me. To make a long story short, I'm forbidden to set foot in the museum. Could you please call Franklin Rose and try to reason with him? If we don't get a move on, this exhibit is going straight down the tubes.
Boswell, Jackson, and Rose, how may I direct your call?
This is Nancy Drew, calling for Franklin Rose, please.
Just a minute, please.
Nancy, you must be psychic. I was just getting ready to call you myself.
Oh, really? Why?
I feel I should apologize for the situation that's going on at the museum, dear. I really did think we were setting you up with a nice little internship, a breather from your casework, but instead it looks like we've fed you to the lions.
Don't worry, I'm used to it by now. And after all, this situation is no more treacherous than my recent attempt at a ski vacation in Wisconsin. Anyway, about Beach Hill.
I think I know what you're going to say, Nancy. Let me be frank. Joanna Riggs has been in the doghouse with the board for months. Her thirst for acclaim has led her to gamble the future and the reputation of Beach Hill time and again. Now that we've lost the Pakal carving, one of our most notable pieces, well, she's just got to be stopped.
Don't you believe she's genuinely concerned about the welfare of the museum?
Good intentions are no substitute for integrity and sound judgment, Nancy. Look, I've got a client waiting, Nancy. What we need now is for you to take up the slack. I've spoken to the rest of the board, and we've agreed that the best thing is to put you in charge.
What do you want me to do?
We're counting on you to catch this thief red-handed. Ha ha! Just kidding, kiddo. If you can get the Pakal back, we'll see about giving Ms. Riggs another chance. That seems fair, doesn't it?
It's a deal, Mr. Rose.
Bye, kiddo.
Boswell, Jackson, and Rose.
May I speak to Franklin Rose, please?
Who may I say is calling?
This is Nancy Drew.
Just a minute, please.
Nancy, how's your investigation coming along?
I've recovered the Pakal carving.
That's great! So the case is closed. I'll reinstate Joanna as museum curator, and we can get on with the business of launching this exhibit. Where in the world did you find it? Who's behind all this nonsense?
Mr. Rose, this case is far from closed. Do you trust me?
What in the world are you talking about?
I'm sorry, but I can't explain everything now. I'll take good care of the carving, I promise.
What can I say, Nancy? I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Do what you have to do, but let's get this mess cleaned up, all right?
So you'll call Joanna and invite her back to work?
I'll call her right away.
Thanks, Mr. Rose.
That's what I'm here for.
Thanks for clearing my name, Nancy. Honestly, I mean, what kind of moron would I be to try and ruin my own exhibit? Anyway, we need to make up for lost time. I need you to go to the storeroom and start unpacking some of those crates. One of the pieces has a fancy security device on it. The code is 0677.
I've got work to do.
Go to it.
I bet I can make a mold from this foam core. Something's missing here. According to Henrik's notes, I need to make a key out of these pieces. Now I have the key! Wow, I'm not sure I can hold on to these. I've got to put these things down. The poem said, when the first king ascends again. This side looks... I'll have to choose which side of the cube goes here. Interesting. This should be the last step. wonder what's inside. It's blank.
Who's your friend, Nancy?
Boo. Taylor Sinclair.
Who'd you expect, the Tooth Fairy? Looks like someone forgot her beauty cream. I guess we can't all age gracefully.
I'm sure she would say the same about you.
You've been a top-notch assistant, Nancy, but I'm afraid you're just not going to make it in the art world.
Why are you doing this?
Nancy, do you have any idea what that book contains?
This tomb and all of its contents belong to Mexico.
Finders keepers, I say. Nobody even realizes this thing has any contents. Won't they get a surprise when they finally open it up and find that it contains a 7th century scribe and a 21st century detective? Adios, Nancy.
Behold! Our heroine emerges from the tomb, like a mermaid from the sea.
Meanwhile, the foolish villain stews in the sour soup of his own miscalculation.
From deep in the recesses of time, a wise royal scribe whispers her thanks.
And a priceless chapter of history is rescued from obscurity. Way to go, Nancy!
What in the world? Ah! Confound you, Nancy Drew!
Dear Dad, it was great to talk to you on the phone last night. I can't wait to see you back in River Heights where I can fill you in on the whole story. Can you believe that your own daughter was recently standing face to face with a real mummy? Now that the scribe's book has been recovered, I understand how important it is and why Taylor thought he could make a fortune selling it on the black market. The book contains one of the only personal accounts of Maya life and existence anywhere. I'm sure it'll be a tremendous addition to our knowledge of the Maya once it's translated, that is. And now that Henrik's memory is back up to speed again, I'm sure he'll be itching to get to work on it. Taylor Sinclair won't be making any art deals for a long time, though, that's for sure. I guess I shouldn't be surprised about Alejandro's discovery that the Pakal carving's provenance documents were faked after all. When Franklin Rose and the board found out, they arranged to return the artifact to Mexico right away. Mexican officials are so happy to have the artifact back, they have pledged a new era of diplomatic relations with Beach Hill. Joanna sure learned her lesson about making deals with shady operators like Taylor. The board has agreed to give her a